Everyone, welcome back to a new episode of our Doodle Empire series. Today we're on episode number 5. Let's get into it. Alright, perfect. It works. Okay, let's load it up. Today's episode we saw a ton of major events happen. So let's go over what we saw. So we saw a huge coalition break out, a huge war, like our second Great War. And it was between two huge coalitions. We had the Italian side and the Egyptian side. And to put you simply, both sides won. So Italy won because they gained all this Balkan land. Look over the winners and losers. The Dutch won because they're recognized as a country. France won. They're recognized. Spain lost because they lost their French land. Tangier won because they're able to unite with Morocco. They also take over more of Italian Africa. Egypt won heavily. They got all of the Hejaz. They lost minor parts of Ethiopia, but they gained all this African land plus Greece. Crete, Anatolia expanded from here to hold all of basically modern day Turkey plus more. Caspia became a thing. Balkans are pretty much crippled. You have the new Persian country. Arabia lost to Yemen, but Arabia got basically partitioned. Persia gained land. The Anatolians gained land. Arabia got the Hejaz, and Yemen became independent again. And we will see what happens. Seems Persia gonna make a move. Is a new country. What happens is settlers from Spain. Actually, no. What happens is people over here, they break away. People in British Iceland, they will form the first North American, technically, country, that being Iceland. These guys are going to find Greenland. They're going to start to take it over. Then they will unify with no one because they just formed. They can't really handle unification yet. Indonesia going to expand. And they get all of Borneo. Only took a while for them to be able to do it. And now they're fighting up against Chagos, which I never realized these have identical colors. I never knew that. And we have a split. And in their Iraqi areas, we have the nation of Iraq. We have another nation. And this time, settlers from Greenland will find these islands. And they will establish Canada. It's a small village. there are new borders. I'll get it later.
Why are you locking the door?
Thank you, John. The founding of Sumatra's right? That's what it's called. Everyone has a cap down there for these guys. Where would be a new capital? It's like here. Manipur. I don't know if I have a new name for them. So these are, I think everything is the capital, aside from these guys, but these are like a civil war pretty much. Alright, the British. Oh boy, they start expanding. Okay, what are the British gonna do? Well, they're gonna attack France because they want mainland European land. Now the thing is, they can't attack the Dutch, and the reason is because the Dutch are very strong. And Britain is now, but France just got founded, so Britain's gonna roll up. They're going to just gonna start attacking France, set up a beachhead. This becomes a mess. However, so a new nation is gonna happen, and this nation will be established roughly here. Okay, it's like Finland/Baltics. So what happens is basically settlers, so refugees from France, a few British people, a couple Icelanders, a couple Dutch, a couple Italians, a few Spaniards, and a few Africans. They all will jointly go to Canada, right? And they all agree to set up their own colony here. So they're gonna form the Pan-Euro-African NADA. NADA is basically their name for Canada. And this is gonna be like Quebec. I'm glad it's Quebec. And these guys are going to take over much of this. The Dutch, Spanish, and Italians are all going to team up to get rid of the British, as well as Iceland. So let's see what Iceland does. So Iceland is quite powerful, believe it or not, and they're going to build a fort in Greenland because realistically it's a good idea for them. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't cover Iceland, but you know. And Iceland's going to start a naval invasion. They're going to rapidly begin marching in. They're going to take over Ireland pretty quickly. They're going to quickly take over all the UK and Brittany. And we have the French forces. They'll get a new leader, and this guy is an excellent leader who found an ideology. This will become known as Icelandic parliamentary. So basically, Iceland has a parliament, and France, that's mostly in thanks because so this guy who's like their congressional leader, they have a new nation established. And this time, a second voyaging team from all these countries, like all these guys, we will all collectively agree to establish a colony up here, right? They get matched from the Dutch are going to help them, and they all establish a colony right here, become known as the Pan-Euro-African Atlantic. And in the meantime, we have Madagascar, who's our only dictatorship. They're going to get an expansion. Madagascar can't really do much. So they don't want to attack South Africa or Mozambique. That's risky. So they will instead discover this weird thing. They find it. I don't know what it's called yet. They establish a settlement there. Madagascar will get a new leader. now how I just mentioned this new colony, they're gonna quickly break away because this new leader guy, he does not like sending troops over to like help these guys. And when these guys find out that they've been abandoned, yeah, they're forming their own country. So Madagascar's colony lasted like a couple weeks maybe before it became independent. These guys are going to stick to the west. They're going to establish a capital at where they landed. They're going to name this Cornelia, named after their leader. They goes up into the older dictator. He got basically he contracted disease from the people into Australia, and that's why he died. And that's part of the reason why this guy does not want to send Australia aid. So yeah, that's the only reason. This is over a terrain map or fort map. As you can see, forts are absurd. In our ideology mode, we have tribalism in Indonesia, Persian law in Persia. And speaking of which, we do that. We have monarchy all over here. We got democracy, the Somalian Emirate. We have federations, which are in pretty much all of these old countries, plus Spain. We have socialism in the Dutch, Icelandic parliamentary in France, Italy is imperialist, and then we have democracy in Egypt. No, Italy. Wait, what? What? Okay, let me do a test. Not that I wanted, but okay. We'd be near a new nation, and this time, so what happens is, you guys know Indonesia? Well, basically, a bunch of people who are in Indonesia, they're fleeing because the civil war is happening. They find these islands. They establish the Philippines. Philippines? That's how you spell it? I don't know how you spell it. I would mess it up, but we have the establishment of the Philippines. And these guys can take over Taiwan. And we want to discover Japan as well. Quickly set up a government up here. In the meantime, Australia's gonna have an expansion. And they're gonna follow the coast. It's an extremely good decision. Philippines is then gonna expand further. They will establish themselves in Korea. And they didn't realize this land is pretty much connected. And their new main goal is getting all this land. In the meantime, Egypt is going to expand. And they're gonna fight with Anatolia. It's like a minor border conflict, and Egypt wins it. And then we also have Egyptian forces fight Somalia for the second time. They will win, kicking Somalia out of Djibouti, and in the treaty, Egypt gets Djibouti. The eastern Indonesians, they're gonna start counterattacking against the Indonesian government. However, Chagos, they're going to quickly take over the rest of Borneo. And yeah, any hopes for these guys is now basically dead. They just lost Borneo and they're losing even more territory. And eventually they collapse. So we have one Indonesia now. Unified Indonesia, pretty much. We have a huge Philippines. Like it's gigantic. Just hoping they can have a new nation. And what happens is, so we're gonna have the independence of this region. So this region's gonna break away. They're gonna form the Philippines. So basically, these people want to go separate ways. We have Taiwan and Philippines, the original. They want to be independent. And these guys up here, they want to continue expanding north. So they both make a collective agreement to just become split. Because the Philippines is much weaker right now, they are going to get their independence. Japan will reject them. And that's what we get. So we have our new Philippines and we have our original. They're going to become Japan. So quite confusing, these countries are the same thing. So these guys, we call them the Philippines original. Philippines Post. These guys are all Indonesia. These guys are all these settlers. These guys are the Victorian. In the meantime, France is going to start to quickly counterattack against the Brits. Re-establishing their country, Iceland will agree to relinquish control over the French territories, and France is now back. And Iceland now owns the British Isles. This guy, he's a very competent leader. He's very good. And so he will lead France to victory, hopefully. In the meantime, so do you guys know I mentioned this general earlier? Well, the dictator guy, he's back and he makes a landing in Australia. And will Australia be able to hold off the guerrillas? Let's see. They get a new leader. And under this guy, they will quickly kick Madagascar out, firmly establishing themselves, and they will establish a memorial battle for independence. So this guy is the new leader. He is the main general who led this fight. Previous guy, he got basically when Madagascar landed, their troops executed him, the former leader. And this guy is the new leader, and this guy hates Madagascar now. And he is going to expand his country. He wants to make these guys part of Madagascar. He's going to continue to do this. However, he dies. He didn't last long. But they've established control over the east. Let's see if they get all the coast. What's Iraq gonna do? They're gonna become their own thing, it seems. That's for Japan. We have another new nation. And this time, a civil war will break out in Madagascar. People want a democracy over here. Those are a rebel group. These guys are quite big. The Madagascarans get a new leader. They're gonna push back. The rebel forces are stronger and they will completely obliterate it. And what becomes known as the Treaty of Indiviro, they officially established a democratic country here. presidency, but Iraq doesn't have any democratic country. Africa was renamed. They're trying to expand. Then we have Japan, and they're going to unify with the Philippines again. We have the nation of Papua. Start a conflict with Chagos to establish their sovereignty. You know, in a very brutal battle, these guys win. As a result, their independence is officially recognized. They officially have the Papuans, securing victory. Take over islands. They have established a huge island conquest. Yes. And they're going to discover in northern Australia. These two, Australia does not know about these guys existing. As for Iraq, you're going to build a castle. Pretty smart move. Mozambique is going to expand. This is going to be pretty minor. They're going to go for some islands. That's really all they can do. Can't really invade anyone. Definitely do West Africa, but not really. So Mozambique is not going to be even harsh. However, a couple sailors are theirs, so they can't really go. Not sure if they should head east, but their friends in Madagascar tell them that there is a colony in Oceania, and they find out, oh, there's more countries here, so you can't go that way. So why don't we go west instead? So they go west, they cover some islands, and then they find Brazil. Now, the Mozambicans, they don't know what they just found. In the meantime, this one is going to have an ideology. These guys are going to be off Icelandic parliamentary as well. That only makes logical sense. And we have another nation. Brazil will be forming their own independent thing. Then we have a small split happening. People in the east want to be part of South Africa. We have the loyalists. Part of South Africa. I mean, not South Africa. Want to be part of Mozambique. The forces of Brasilia are going to become a democracy. We're going to establish a castle. of course, the Lords will be taken out. Mosul is now free to expand. In the meantime, South Africa is going to expand. They too are going to found their own colony. They go west and they found their own competing colony over here. And you see Madagascar does still technically exist. So this guy, he is in exile now. The Chagos agrees to give him exile here. So he's going to live out his days right here. In this small city. So this is where the loyalists of the dictatorship live. As for Brasilia, they're going to expand. Caspia is going to expand. These guys are going to mop up the Caucasus. They are then going to become their own thing. And they will become a democracy like Egypt. Madagascarian exiles, they're going to expand. And yeah, they're going to try to quickly retake the country. So democracy was back in Madagascar, and now it's gone yet again. The empire is back. And they renamed the capital back to Antamira. Ending like 20 pieces of progress. This guy is now the exile, and we'll see how this turns out. That's for Anatolia. They're going to expand. Going to wipe out the Arabs over here. And they're going to start an offensive to take the Balkans to cripple them. Persia, they're going to expand. Madagascar is going to send more troops to handle these rebels. They land in the capital. Let's see what Australia does. They're going to force Madagascar out again. And they're going to take over this forward operating. We'll see where this forward operating anyway, if they don't. So we have another victory for these guys. Emirate is going to start expansion. So what they do is they are going to start attacking. They're going to start taking over the desert. Spain's going to expand, and they're going to plan out a huge colonization effort. Because they know about Canada, so they're going to send over ships. And these ships accidentally discover this area. This is their own colony now, so we essentially established a huge colony. It's looking really good for them. And we'll then start to expand. As for the Chagos, we're going to find out ideology, and they're going to update their ideology to Islander. Actually, their ideology. Let's see fair. They have a new ideology. They basically love the water. Yemen is going to expand. forces sign a peace treaty. Balkans are officially going to be Ukraine. You have a split in this region known as Crimea wants to break away. Ukraine quickly retakes separatists. Godfrey, aka in India, they're gonna find an ideology, and this will become known as. They still do not know about the threat being in jail. However, where is he? There he is. He's right here, right? However, what happens is basically so the current people from Persia, they basically tell India, your leader, he's been in jail for like a while. So in the meantime, Yemen will continue their war against the Arabians. At this point, Arabia's going to have to respond to this, and they are going to quickly start counterattacking. And the Arabian Emirates are officially going to become an emirate. They are no longer a monarchy, they are now an emirate, officially. And emirate forces are going to quickly begin to counterattack. Egypt will then threaten to intervene, and they do, to begin a great land invasion of Arabia. However, Arabia's going to counterattack yet again. Remember, they have a huge split. Basically, there are groups in the north who want peace, these groups out here that don't want peace. These northern groups can become the northern Arab Emirates. We have the cracks in Arabia. Arabia, a country formerly united, is now two fractured things. You got the southern Arab Emirates. The capital will be up here in Qatar. And Arabia is forced to agree to this. Yemen's going to regain this territory. And yeah, Arabia is... Both these guys are extremely